Hey folks, Matt Easton here, Schola Gladiatore. So a question I get asked a lot is about fighting multiple opponents and how realistic it is. And to sum up, essentially when you're fighting more than one person, assuming that you're of all a roughly equivalent skill level, you're at a massive disadvantage when you're fighting more than one person. There are things that can mitigate this. For example, the environment. For example, if you're in a corridor, then therefore the two people can't attack both at the same time to full effectiveness, or indeed just the direction that the two people come from, you know, if there's a doorway, this kind of thing. If you end up in an open situation, in an open combat, in a field or in a courtyard or whatever, where the people are able to triangulate on you, that's when you're really in trouble. Now, that's not to say that one person can't successfully beat two people. In fact, you often find that one really good person can beat two noobs. It can happen, and it does happen in sparring, and it certainly did happen historically, and we know that this happened from historical accounts. But it's dependent on a few factors. It's dependent on the person who's outnumbered having some experience at fighting multiple opponents. You tend to find that someone who's only trained, and this goes back to a video I did about a week or two ago about training to fight against different weapons. It's to do with familiarity. And if you're a fantastic fencer, but you've never fought against multiple opponents before, you'll probably come a cropper. You probably won't do very well. Fighting multiple opponents is a skill. It's a skill to be learned, much like melee combat or fighting in formations. And simply being a good swordsman or a good martial artist isn't always enough to see you through. If you want to be good at fighting multiple opponents, surprise, surprise, you should practice fighting multiple opponents. So that's the key message here really, is if you want to get good at fighting two or even three or more people, then practice doing it. It's kind of a no-brainer, but it's surprising how many people just kind of assume that, you know, oh, I'm really good at fighting one-to-one, so I should be good against multiple opponents. Not the case. It's a very distinct skill, and there are certain things. Someone like Mark Gilbert has spent a lot of his fighting time actually specialising in how to fight in multiple opponent situations. And there are certain keys to doing it, you know, using all of the advantages of the environment, using walls and doors and slopes and these kind of things to your benefit. Indeed, even the sun in the sky, if you can get that to your back, that's an advantage. But one of the most obvious and important things when fighting multiple opponents is not to let them get either side of you. Ideally, if you're one of the group, you should be aiming to surround your opponent, or at least if there's just two of you, get either side of them, or at least triangulate and get about 90 degrees to them. What you absolutely shouldn't do is get in each other's way, and this is another situation where sometimes more isn't always better. So for example, two people attacking one have a big advantage. Three people attacking one have a big advantage, but not necessarily 50% bigger. A few percent bigger, you know, maybe 10 or 20% bigger advantage. If you have six people trying to attack one, they don't have 6 times the advantage of one-on-one, or even 3 times the advantage of two-on-one, because they get in each other's way. So it is a law of diminishing returns. But fundamentally, learning to fight either in a group against one, or a group against a group, or one against more than one person, are skills to be learned. And there are certain tricks and tactics that you want to take advantage of. What you're going to see now is just a few very, very simple examples with no tutelage whatsoever and very little practical experience of some of my students who are of roughly equal level and relatively skilled students, in fact. In one-on-one fighting, all of the people you'll see in the following video are all quite skilled, but none of them are particularly well trained in multiple fight situations. And the last fight of the group that you'll see, just short videos, you'll see that the person who's 1 against 2 actually has 2 swords, and that's just so you can see how it might pan out if the person has 2 weapons rather than just 1. But the other fights will just be sabre against sabre, so it's more of a level playing field, and so it's easier for you to see what's going on. Enjoy. Go. Good. Remember, stick your arm high in the air when you get hit so it's clear. Hold your weapons in the air if you're hit. There's too many blades now to see what's happening. It's just a mass of blades. Okay, 3 more. Cool. Yeah, one more, go. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, follow us on Facebook. You can buy t-shirts through Spreadshirt, support us on Patreon, or follow us on Pinterest. Thank you.